everybody. Good morning, good morning. Thank you, and welcome to, sorry, a little bit rainy, but otherwise beautiful Cambridge, Massachusetts. Thank you very much for coming. I think we've got an exciting couple of days for you. We appreciate you taking your time, we're trying to make this the best event we possibly can. I always find it interesting to give you a perspective as to, this conference is now in its 5th event, 3 here in the US and 2 in Europe, to give you an idea sort of how many people come and what the demographics look like a little bit. So as you can see, we've actually continued to stay pretty good, really good, strong crowd, at least 315 of you strong. And you can actually see that in Europe, the growth has been pretty spectacular. But what I find very interesting are actually the demographics. So if you look and see on the lower right, almost a third of the people that are here either have little or no experience or less than a year's worth of experience. And that, as the CEO of a company that's helping promote and sponsor and move this projects forward, it's always good to know that we've got fresh blood. It's always good to know that we've got new people that are coming, trying to understand the technology, how does it work, how's it deployed, how's it used. The other thing I guess I'll point out is the fact that there's a wide range of IT professionals in the room as well. So we're not always talking specifically to develop. There's project managers, there's product managers, people that want to integrate the technology in their application or their go-to-market capabilities. And so it's a good wide range, it's a good mix of people with different skills. The other thing I actually find quite interesting is what the geographic representation looks like. It's truly a global phenomenon that we have. As you can see, we are not only well represented throughout the cut off there a little bit on the right, throughout the United States, but also around the world. I mean, in San Francisco, who knew we were going to have somebody from Poland and somebody from Vietnam, talking about opposite ends of the world, coming to the conference. The other thing you should realize is that of the 300 plus attendees that we have here today, we had over 100 people attend the training. So we had a good 25 people or so in the solar, I get the names, Tom, help me. Solar Unleashed, right, is the first. And then we had about 30-some people in Solar Under the Covers. And then we had over 60 people in the Big Data class. And so not only is this an opportunity for people to come and exchange ideas and understand use cases and how the technology is being utilized, but it's also obviously a great venue for people to come to get training and get refreshed. And so we appreciate, again, the distribution of the folks. Now, in terms of the one at Barcelona, I think you also find that interesting. Similar demographics in terms of again, truly 1/3 of the people either have not a current user or less than 1 year's experience with the technology. So again, we see continued growth in the use of the technology and in the deployment of the technology around the world. And again, once again, very broad representation in terms of multiple people from different parts of the IT organization, taking advantage of the technology. And again, in terms of the representation, you can see quite a huge distribution. So it really is truly a global opportunity that the technology, represents, allowing people to do a better job of search and allowing them to build applications and allowing them to try and get access to information that's sort of trapped inside your organizations that might be difficult to otherwise get a hold of. And so we're excited, like I said, to have you here. We'll, of course, be capturing all your demographics, and hopefully at the next one I'll be able to report back and see how our opportunity and how our community continues to grow. So it wouldn't be possible for us to put this on. I don't know how many of you are involved ever in conferences or running conferences, but we try our hardest not to lose money, all right? So this is not a money-making proposition for Lucid Imagination. It's something we do on the behalf of the community and on trying to grow and expand the community and try and bring additional education opportunities to people that want to understand the technology. But we couldn't do it, and we couldn't even get close to what we get close to without the support and sponsorship of our partners. So in terms of our platinum sponsors, Basis, who's been a partner and a sponsor at these conferences for the last 2 or 3 in a row, I think just does a phenomenal job, and many of you may know them. They're specifically noted for their linguistic capability and being able to bring more advanced capabilities in different language packs to search across all the different search platforms. Hortonworks, as you know, is one of the key providers of big data and Hadoop. They're actually one of the key committers to the Hadoop Apache project and are advancing that and making that more scalable and more enterprise ready. So I thank them for their sponsorship as platinum sponsors. Then we have ISS, one of our relatively new partners. They're headquartered out of Colorado. They are focused very much on the federal government and bringing intelligence solutions to the federal government, and they've now just taken us on because we're seeing more and more deployment of search technology inside the federal government. TNR Global is actually a relatively new partner of ours. They're headquartered here in Massachusetts. And again, all these folks are outside, and I would appreciate it and hope that you find some time in your schedule to understand what solution capabilities they provide. They're obviously, again, another systems integration firm with a tremendous amount of expertise in search and search across multiple different platforms, not just solar. So I think you'll find, a wealth of opportunity and resource and information just talking to them. And then our silver sponsors. So Search Technologies has been in the systems integrator in the search space for many, many years. They have a tremendous reputation. They're headquartered down in the DC area. MapR, another Hadoop distribution that's making great inroads into the market, and their growth curve is absolutely astronomical. Smarsh, I hope I'm saying that the right way, hosted email and archiving and retrieval for documents. So an exciting company, great technology. I was on their website this morning. And Documil, which helps you with visualization of your search results and allows you to visualize the information easier and more quickly and give end users better access to the information. So if I could ask you all to please give a round of applause for our sponsor. So in terms of what we've got on store for you today, like I said, it's our 5th event, and we're awful excited to have you all here. So after I speak, we've got Senior Director of Open Source Technologies, Gianluca from Microsoft, who's going to come and talk to you a little bit about Microsoft and open source. Now, I've actually gotten some feedback on this, and a lot of people are scratching their head and going, wait a second, is that the evil empire, taking over the rest of the world? So I know that they've done an awful lot of work, and their strategy in open source continues to evolve, and they're actually a tremendous sponsor. A lot of the open source conferences that you see nowadays, Microsoft is a very active participant in. So I'm excited to hear them, and I know you'll get a lot of information out of them. Then this year, which is a little bit different, we decided to split it up into 3 different tracks. There always will be, and always has been, always will be this deep dive on the technology side. I mean, we know a lot of you come here. We've got really smart guys that work for us that are the committers and on the PMC Apache committee, and these are the types of people, as well as other members of the community that have deep expertise in the technology. So there'll always be the technical deep dive. But we also want to talk about what are the use cases. How do people take advantage of the technology? How are they deployed? Because that's something that comes up in conversations all the time. What business problems are you solving in the use and the adoption of the technology, which is really pretty interesting stuff. And then for the first time, we're offering a big data track. I believe, and over the next couple of days, you'll start to hear this message at a number of different times, but I firmly believe that Solar Lucid can be the best application development platform on top of Hadoop, because I think it offers the broadest range of opportunity in terms of building those applications and doing it repeatably and successfully. And so we decided to host a big data track, because there's an awful lot of interest that we see from the community and from enterprises in large about how do you connect those two technologies together and how do you create results in the enterprise. And so this is the first time we've done that, and again, we're very interested in your feedback. You'll have survey forms and all that stuff on your chairs, and we'd be very curious to know how you feel about it, what you think. So now I just want to take up a little bit more of your time and talk about what it is that's going on at Lucid Imagination. Understanding that, again, based on the demographics, that truly 1/3 of you either have little experience with solar or less than a year's worth of experience. It's not unusual for us when we take surveys at the conference for people to come away and say, oh yeah, what about that Lucid Imagination? What are you guys and what do you do? Well, we're the commercial company that supports and sponsors Lucid and solar and tries to sort of expand and drive forward not only the technology but also the projects. What's interesting is the enterprise search world, though, has changed in the last years. You all probably know if you read the papers at all, right? HP acquired Autonomy, Oracle acquired Endeca, now IBM has just acquired Vivissimo. And at the end of the day, if you think about it, which many years ago, I don't know if anybody would have envisioned, but all of a sudden I think open source becomes the safe choice. right? Because it's always going to be there. Doesn't matter what happens to Lucid Imagination. We can go out of business tomorrow, and your investments in this technology will continue to move forward because of the growth and the strength of the community. So we like to think of it now as not only are we the safe choice, but also I would suggest, and what I'm positioning and I'm trying to collect data points on, we're probably the largest independent provider of search technology in the world, based on the number of downloads of the solar Lucene technology that happen everywhere around the world every day. So it's interesting to see how open source has evolved, and now with your help and your support and your feedback, we can actually drive the technology and drive the product in such a way that it actually can start to really expand and fill the vacuum, I think, that's been created. A couple of data points, so it's a global community. We've got over a couple of hundred customers now. Our business is actually growing dramatically. And what's interesting about our business is it's moving very much away from a services-based business to much more of a license, a recurring license model. And so what we want to do within Lucid Imagination, and I'll talk about it here a little bit more in a few minutes, is really start to develop the commercial aspects and the opportunity on top of the open source projects to give companies a different opportunity or a different advantage in using it. And so we're seeing a tremendous growth and a shift in our model away from services, which we're going to try and engage partners like the sponsors that you see, and really have us as a company start to focus on more of the software development aspects of it. And we're fortunate enough that of the 36 committers that are anointed by the Apache Foundation, we employ 9 of them. So what does that mean? All that means is that we have maybe a little bit of an unfair disadvantage in terms of putting capabilities into the projects and moving them forward. But at the end of the day, it's still up to the community to decide as an organization when like for example, we just delivered a new set of features into what I guess is the 4.0 development trunk version that's available on our website if you want to go take a look at it, or on the Apache website. But then the community decides when that gets GA'd enough, when it has enough feature richness, and when it gets, go ahead and pushed into a GA status. So we don't have anything to do with that. All we do is we help provide and support and push a roadmap forward. So these are just some of our customers. As you can see, it's a very horizontal play. I mean, the way that this works is people hit our website through events like this, through conferences, through email communications, et cetera, people come to understand what are the services that we provide and how we help you take better advantage of the technology. And it's really, generally, it's very much across the board. It's all the way from simple search inside of your website to as much as building mission critical applications inside a large enterprise. So it all starts, of course, with the open source technology. I mean, that's the core. That's what the organization is founded on. And as you can see, I mean, it's thousands of developers and contributors. It's continuous innovation. I mean, one of the things I love, and I've always loved about the open source model, is you don't get stale in your architecture. Your architecture is allowed to evolve because you have so many people looking at it and contributing it, and it's absolutely true. The peer review process does move the technology forward in very interesting and in very exciting ways, and you're able to take advantage of evolution in technology that you wouldn't get through most commercial software vendors. They get locked into a particular framework, and then in order for them to jump or advance, stepwise progressions, it's a complete retool, it's a complete re-overhaul. But like most open source projects, there's limited QA. It's done by the community, certification of binaries. You all know how this thing works. By the way, and you probably all realize it, or if you didn't, you do now. I mean, Lucene Solar powers some of the most visible websites right now in the world. And it's fundamental to their architecture, fundamental to their technology, and allows them to scale like nothing else you've ever seen before. So in terms of what does Lucid Imagination provide? Well, we provide software. That's what we do. So if you look at the first thing over on your left-hand side, LucidWorks platform, that's a commercial offering on top of the open source technology. And we focus around 3 specific areas, I think, where we try and help build out functionality to make the product more enterprise ready. The first is security. I hear that constantly. Enterprises want to deploy open source search technology, but it needs to sort of fit into their security framework and their security infrastructure. And so what we're trying to do is to build out security functionality inside of the platform that allows you to adopt or accommodate your own security infrastructure so that people, at the end of the day, for whatever search application you put in place, only get to see what they're supposed to see. The second is the connector framework. So Lucid Imagination will adopt a subset of connectors that we'll probably release then on every version of the commercial platform. But then we're going to be looking to the community and your expertise to go ahead and augment that. We're not going to be able to build a connector to every single file type. We'll cover the, the basic ones, ODBC, file shares, SharePoint probably, document them, things like that. So ones that most corporations or enterprises need. And then we're going to build a connector framework built on top of a RESTful API that allows you then to go ahead and integrate whatever other sources you need to, and to do it quickly and easily. Okay, and the third then is a GUI interface that allows you to sort of use or take advantage of the power and the capabilities in Solar, but you don't need to be a Solar developer in order to do that. So we're trying to make this software more enterprise ready. And the way I like to talk to it when I have to talk to press and analysts is, if you have more time than money, you can develop all that stuff. And I know many of you in this room probably already have. So you're thinking, what's the big deal? If you have more money than time, though, then maybe you want to take advantage of a licensed technology that helps accelerate your time to value and where you don't have to continuously develop this technology every time you're trying to build a search solution. So, like I said, it's up to you. Second thing we did is a couple of months ago, we actually hosted it in the cloud. So right now we host it on Amazon. And what that provides is there's sort of three major use cases. The first major use case is websites. There's over 200 million websites in the internet today, and most of them either have no search or lousy search. And so now you can provide search as a service. All you have to do is connect to our cloud offering. We can crawl your content, and then you can use us as your embedded search tool. So we've actually seen tremendous pickup on that. The second use case we find is enterprises that are looking for a sandbox. You know how tough it is sometimes. You got to provision hardware. You got to fill out forms in triplet. You got to wait 6 months for the IT group to go ahead and get something provisioned and set up for you and stuff like that. I see guys laughing here. All right, if you know the drill. Use that, yeah. A lot of companies are using Amazon, that's right. So now we provide it, again, in the cloud, where it's a sandbox where it allows you to go ahead and prototype and develop your search-based applications or search-enabled applications, and then you get to move them in-house at your convenience. The third is SaaS applications. So a couple of weeks ago, we were at SugarCon, and we just announced a connector for Sugar CRM, where now you can go ahead and crawl their content, and you can now do reporting across all the different objects in the Sugar store. Or you can take the content and integrate it with internal or external information to your heart's content. So we're starting to see how the adoption of that is going to be helpful to companies to take advantage of SaaS-based applications and be able to use that data more interactively. So we're going to be going and talking to Workday and Taleo and all those other guys, success factors and stuff, because we think that's continuing to be a real growth market opportunity. And then the third product, if you will, is something that I'm going to ask you to hold off until tomorrow. It's something that we're just coming to market with. Grant Ingersoll, who's our chief scientist, has been leading the development team there. We're really excited about it. Like I said, in my mind, it's really showing people how you marry the power of Solar and Lucene with Hadoop, and the range of opportunities and applications that creates that allow you to really take advantage of big data and to become a catalyst for implementing those applications in the enterprise. So we're pretty excited about it, and we hope to get some real good feedback from you as well. So in addition to those three products, of course, as you saw, we manage training. We help people get more expertise in the technology. We do provide support for companies that want to deploy the open source technology but want to have access to our smart guys. That in case you get stuck or you got an architectural challenge or a problem, we will provide you a support contract. And then we have expert link consulting as well. If you're in the middle of a project or you're thinking about starting a project and you want, again, some of our smart guys have been working with this technology for a while to come and help you with the architecture. So that's a little bit about Lucid Imagination and what we do and how we get into the market. Thank you very much.